Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Hey, let's jump on the load board this morning. It's Monday, August 7th. It's 9:40 something Central Standard Time. Let's see what the load board looking like. First thing we gonna do is we gonna go to this website right here, www.eia.gov. Go to the petroleum diesel section. Scroll down. I'm in the Midwest, so I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna look at the diesel prices. So what, $4.10 is the average price in the Midwest? I'm gonna break my little handy dandy calculator out. $4.10. And I'm gonna divide that by my 4.5. Remember, I run reefer. You could use whatever number you comfortable using. I use 4.5. I used to use 5.5, but I was like, I'm gonna drop it down to 4.5. That way I can include my reefer fuel. So I'm looking at 91%. So I know right now, 91% of whatever miles that I run, I can gauge what I'm going to use in fuel. So after I see that, and again, if it was on the East Coast, I use 415. If I was on the West Coast, I use 475. If I was in California, man, California is just a little different than the West Coast. I thought the West Coast was the West Coast, but clearly California is at 515. So you get the picture here on what I use this for, and that's what I do. And then I go over to the load board, of course. And if you're interested in getting the load board free for 30 days, the link will be in the description. All you got to do is use my link. If you call in, they give you some problems. Well, actually, if you try to sign up online, they give you some problems. Shoot me an email, axice815@gmail.com. I'll get you hooked up. And in the email, in the subject line, put in there that load board so I can kind of filter through. So y'all know how I like to do it. As soon as I come on here, I want to look at the national load count. Now it's set for van, and I want to go down. I'm in Illinois, so I want to see how many vans they got coming in Illinois, how many they got leaving out of Illinois. And you could do this for whatever state you got a truck in, wherever you trying to find freight from. I always like to check this. It looks decent for van, but I know that the rates are down because the equipment is oversaturated with equipment right now. But I still like to look at these numbers to give me an idea, especially like if I know somewhere I want to head. Say I want to head to Missouri. I like to know like what's happening in Missouri right now. And that's going to give me a pretty good indicator of what the freight's going to look like for whatever equipment type. Me, well, since I usually do reefer, let's do vans today. Let's search vans today. So I go over to search loads. I clear this out. I'm not sure what that was about, but put in Chicago. Keep my deadhead at 100 miles. I look for, I just want to look for today and hit search. Now this is, when this come up, I like to see this come up. Too many results to show, narrow your search criteria to view new results. Yeah. Last time I did a search or load board video, this didn't come up because of the parameters that I had set. But whenever I see this, I feel a little better about the load board. At least I know they got a lot of loads. Look, 2,257. Not saying that they paying anything, but just saying that the volume is there. So I just close this. And then I start to search by deadhead. And what I'll do is I'll scroll through this, and if it's a load going somewhere that I want to go to, I'll put a check mark by it. I'll go back and do this, but I ain't found one yet. Yeah, I'm not liking none of these. I'm not liking none of these lows that I'm seeing. When I see something like this, it's a little discouraging though. Like you like Chicago to Miami, Florida, $1.59 a mile. And why that's a little discouraging to me is because they're not putting this price on here just because they got nothing else to do. It's somebody out there that then told them that price is a good starting point. Now say they don't sell this load at $1.59 a mile. They might sell it at $1.75. But I don't know. It's just crazy. And for the dry van moving out of Chicago, like I said, they got a lot of loads. They're not paying you nothing. I mean, I haven't seen one load on here that would pique my curiosity or that would interest me. Again, you see that's low rate right there. That's because those are partials. So don't get too discouraged. This load almost caught my attention because it was 300 miles for $1,000. I know it's going to Johnstown, Ohio, which I never heard of, and I never heard of this broker. And 42,000 pounds. I'm gonna skip past that, but it did catch my attention. I think right now a good rate on 300 miles is $1,000 for a dry van, and about 1,200 for a reefer. Now that's just me knowing lanes and knowing rates and stuff like that. Again, if you getting the freight on and off the truck, that makes a difference. But let's see if we can find something worth pulling today, folks. 950 going to Cleveland on 3-4. I believe you could probably get that. I never heard of Wayfinder. Let me stop. I don't know if they negotiate or not. Some of these places definitely negotiate the prices, and some of them won't because they know what the market. The brokers know that it's a broker's market right now, or we can call it a shipper's market. You could say whatever you. All you need to know is that the rates on the freight is cheap right now. You know what I'm saying? You call it whatever you want. We ain't even got to get political with it. Washington Court, Ohio. I believe it's going to a Walmart. I'm not 100% sure, but I used to go to Washington Court a lot, and it's that Walmart is. If there's something else there, I'd be surprised, but that Walmart's definitely there. So let me see. Chicago to Indianapolis on 200. 600. I think it should be 750, but Skyland Transport, they have a lot of lows, so I'm not surprised that they have 600. Let me see. Going to New Jersey for 1,800. I know a lot of people that'll pull that. They like running to the East Coast for free. I don't get it, but let me see. Chicago to Newton, Mississippi. That'll put you down there around Memphis in a dry van, which is a decent area to be in because you could shoot west, you could shoot back north if you wanted to, you could shoot to the Carolinas. If you going out of Chicago and you headed down south, anywhere around Memphis is a decent area to be in. And people be like, well, why you say that? Well, in times like this, if I gotta pick which direction I'm gonna head out of Chicago, I'm gonna head south at the beginning of the week because I'm gonna run flatland and I'm gonna get cheaper fuel running that way. I'm not running east right now, not starting out. If I get out somewhere and it's a good load that's taking me east, that's a whole nother story. But I'm not finna run from Chicago east right now. I won't do it. I will run south or I will run southwest. I wouldn't run straight east out of Chicago. And here's why. I mean, what you can go to PA for 1,800 on what 728. Let's look at that real quick, just for giggles here. We looking at 728. So I said it was 92% because I was running reefer. So let's do 89% because um we gonna do dry van. So we looking at what 650 on diesel on that. And what was they offering again? 1,800 minus the 650. So what we looking at? 1,150 to the truck. I like it. I'm not in love with it, but I like it. The fact that it's 40,000 pounds, I like it though. And so I would look at it. I would give them a call. Well, I would go over here. I would see they only got 2 stars, but their credit score is a 95 and their days to pay is a 24. So that's a little iffy or whatever, but I would get them a call and I would see that 18. Of course, I'm gonna come in at 2,000 off the top. I'm already putting $200 on it off the top just to see what they gonna say. And then while I'm on the phone with them, like while I'm calling, negotiating, the rate, this is what I'm doing. While I'm on the phone, you know, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm interested in such and such load, but I'm on here doing this right here because I need to know if I can come out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna change my date here. I'm assuming I'm gonna pick it up today and then I'm gonna get it tomorrow. So I wanna know what's coming out of there tomorrow for my truck. And while I'm on the phone talking, negotiating the rate, I'm like, hey, you know, I need 2,000 on such and such load. And I'm looking and I'm seeing like, where could I go from there? Okay, I know I can go back to Ohio. I see a lot of Ohio. I'm not too much worried about the rate right now because that's something I'm gonna have to negotiate before I book the next load. But I wanna know where they got freight going to. And that's gonna determine. So while I'm on the phone talking to him, you know, we lip boxing, going back and forth. I'm scrolling, looking. Like, is it any place I would like to go? Like, I might shoot down to Lexington, South Carolina, you know, for the 1,200 on this if I'm trying to. So I'm like, okay, I can go to South Carolina. That'll make me a little bit of money. And so hopefully by the time we agree on the price and he tell me he got to send the carrier packet and all that, I done kind of seen if that's a place I want to go to. That's how I move the truck. If I'm on the phone with him and I don't really find no place I want to go to, I'd be like, you know what? That's a good rate you gave me. You know, you want to give me the 2,000? Okay, cool. Let me make sure that the truck is going to be available. What's your direct extension? What's your email? I'll give you a call right back. That's if I'm not 100% sure that I want the load. If I'm 100% sure that I want the load, then I just book the load. And this is how I book the loads. And this worked for flatbed. It worked for dry van. It worked for anything. I scroll, I look, I see, hey, where I'm at. Like, do I want to come back to Toma for $1.40 for a mile? Probably not, but especially at 43,000. So if I see a price that's really low, I automatically look at the weight, and it just depends on where I'm trying to go to. Would I go to Alabama for 1,400? Probably not. So I'm looking at South Carolina like that's a pretty good place to go right now. Again, South Carolina, they at 950, 23,000 miles. Do I think I can get that up to 1,000, 1,100? Yep. If not, I'll just keep looking. So this is what I would do come Monday morning if I was trying to get out of here. So let me know if you found this video useful. You know what I'm saying? You can get 30 days free on the load board messing with me. All you got to do is use my code. Link will be in the description. Email me if you have any problems.